Alright guys, we're back on Project White Fang here. We're slowly getting it down to the nitty-gritty where I can remove the entire wiring harness, where I can take my project donor car and swap the entire harness, drivetrain, suspension, components onto this 94 V6 so we can make a very unsuspecting, fast vehicle. But you have to take it down to where the fenders are off if you want to have access to every bit of wiring harness, because when you go through the car, and I'm going to swap the entire wiring harness because I don't want to have to replug or repin any of the connectors, and since I have a full-fledged donor car, it just makes the process for me a little easier. So once this is finally out, all the electricals out, I'll take and I'm going to power wash it down just to really clean it up. As you can see, if the cameraman will be so nice, pan down, you'll always find goodies that are going to be in the fender well through years of driving through the streets on everyday use. We went ahead and completed pulling out the dash so we can expose all the wiring harness. I have to switch my pedal assembly as well. That's why that is removed, and at this point I'll probably go ahead and order up a needle bearing steering column to help just with ease of header clearance and a few other issues in the future, and we'll just make the steering a little bit more precise. But again, the entire wiring harness is going to be removed. Then we'll pull it from that car, swap it in as a direct swap since these share the same chassis. Let's see. That's it. I'm just doing the final stages of removing fenders so I can access all of the wiring harness in the car. I'm going to delete the airbag system on the vehicle. It weighs a hefty amount, so we don't want to use that. Again, I want to make sure this car is as light as possible for any unsuspecting victims out there who roll up on me. So I'll need, it's power to weight ratio is the name of the game, and we want it as light as possible. I'll probably decide whether I want to stick with these bulky front bumpers or just remove them. It's unknown at this point what I want to do. I don't know how heavy they are. Come over here to the pile that we've already taken out of the vehicle. This thing's got to weigh 30 pounds. Maybe not, maybe only 20, but it's quite heavy. But this is your heat resistor from the firewall into the cabin. Here's your airbag box. That's the AC heater box, which I will not be running on this car. So also what I plan to do, and I'll try to get some numbers for those who want to know, is I'm going to pull all the components out, wiring harness included, and see what it weighs, just to see what it weighs. And we'll come over here. I got a nifty little trick I'm going to do for the airbag. This is a factory airbag. What I'm going to do, they came with double stick tape and Velcro. So I will just drill out these little rivets, get rid of the bulk of this 15-20 pounds right here underneath the dash by just drilling all these out and just using that as a plug. Lighten up the dash a little further. Come over here to the dash. I went ahead and taken all the wiring harness out of this as well, as you can see, but it's still quite heavy. They use this as a secondary vent to run the AC to the side of the car, which I thought was hilarious. I don't know how to get rid of this weight, but I'll figure it out, or I may just leave it, but it's actually quite heavy. I was a little shocked, and I'm probably picking up 20 pounds here. Maybe even 30, it's tough to say. But onward with Project White Fang. Deleting anything that's unnecessary and just working on keeping the car as basic but still streetable. And there's many definitions for street. Some people believe you still need AC and heater to be a street car. I'm just looking for emissions because I live in California. So all the emissions will remain on the vehicle, but I'll get rid of the majority of the creature comforts since the car came basic with no cruise, no power windows, no power locks. And I'll just take that a step further and just get rid of the AC system. It does not have an ABS, which I like. I want a non-ABS car. So we'll just keep plugging away. I'll put up these videos. If you guys have any inputs or any questions that I can answer, my knowledge is somewhat deep on these cars, but I don't know everything, and I'll be able to answer your questions as best of my ability. So until then, I'll see you next time, Project White Fang. We'll be pulling the motor and transmission out tomorrow and getting ready to power wash it. So until then.